Right, so now we're getting more into the fine-tuning.
Okay.
And the more subtle aspects of beer and matching beer with food.
Okay.
And once again, these are all just different tools. And the more you explore the ingredients in your beer, the more you'll know how to match them. And as a general rule, right now we're talking about hops, and I just want to say as a general rule, the malt is a great way to find the match with the main element, like the meat that you're using or the way it's cooked.
Okay.
And hops is a great way to match up with the spice or how it's prepared.
Okay.
So just as a general rule. So in that sense, we're fine-tuning here. So what is hop? Beer is not made from hops. The hops are used in beer to flavor it. It's used as a preservative primarily. All beers, even if you can't really taste the hop in it, generally have a little bit as a preservative. And then it has two actions, flavoring and bittering. What I wanted to do first of all is just point out this, which is pelletized hops. So you can see that huge plant that I just showed you, the flowers are taken off and they're condensed into these little pellets. And what I want you to do is just smell that, and you'll see that it's an overwhelming odor. I'm going to recommend we don't taste them because our taste buds will be seared for the rest of the session. Have you tasted them before?
Yeah, they're very bitter, and the flavor hangs in your mouth forever.
Yeah, yeah. So just as a general visual, I did brew a 20-liter batch of beer last summer, and I used just a little bit more than this in 20 liters, so it takes very little. Now, you had asked about where hops are indigenous to, and this is something I want to talk about a little bit because, as we were talking about before with the malt, the different flavors have to do with different roasts.
Okay.
And so you can get any roast of malt anywhere there's a maltster. Now, the difference with hops is that hops from different regions have different characteristics to them. So when people think about, for example, drawing a parallel between wine and beer, when you think of wine varietals and how certain grapes grow in certain regions and that's what qualifies the wines from that region, hops are the same. So if you're looking at a traditional English style of beer, it will have an English hop that has usually an earthy character to it or floral character to it. If you're looking at a traditional German style beer, then you're looking at something that has a German hop to it, or alternately a hop that's been imported to Germany and started to be grown in Germany. Those generally have a spicy character. So that's sort of a way that you can relate hop and wine. Having said that, now we can do this to hops. And so we can certainly make a traditional English style beer right here in Ontario, just import the hops. And then roast the malts accordingly, tweak the water, and we've got a very authentic English style ale brewed right here. So it doesn't necessarily mean where the beer is from is what the hops flavor will be. Having said that, generally the style will be indicated on the bottle. So even if it's brewed here, if it says English style ale, you know it's going to have the English hop characteristic. Now,
do brewmasters mix hops from different regions to reach a flavor?
Definitely, absolutely. Very much like the malt, there are combinations that are done. That's more in the more contemporary styles. And in styles that aren't, strictly historical and denoted by a certain region. What the U.S. craft beer movement has done is, instead of importing the hops, like I was saying, they would start brewing, for example, an English pale ale and just use the local hops, which have a completely different character. And so once that became prevalent and a lot of people started brewing this English style ale with the American hop, it could no longer really be called an English style ale because it has a completely different character. So that has developed and has become an American style pale ale. You see what I'm saying?
So it's brewed in the English tradition, but with a different flavor profile because of the use of the hops.
That's right. And therefore has now been called an American pale ale.